trust is more and more, let's say, parts of a new digitalization around transaction. European sovereignty is a key and is part of our global strategy. Why? So simple, because as a European player, we provide service to European clients, and we are all very sensitive about data protection, for sure, about the capability to provide and to have people working in Europe, the capability to provide a service, let's say, powered by European data centers. And this is part of our total DNA. We think that our position in the market, our capability to support our client everywhere is it's a real added value for us.
Hi, I'm Matteo Panfilo from Namirial, and this is Trusted Voices, our podcast where we invite experts to discuss about digital identities, digital trust, and digital transactions. Let's start this new episode. Thank you for staying with us today. Here today, I have the pleasure to have Pierre Feligioni, that is the Deputy CEO of Namirial. Happy to have you on stage today, Pierre, and to stay with us in Trusted Voices. So, welcome.
Matteo. Thank you so much. Thanks for your welcome.
So, let's start discussing about scale, trust, security. We have a lot of topics that we want to cover in our podcast today. Let's start with the security in a more general sense. We talk about regulation. We have AI regulation. We have identity regulation with AI. It's a lot of things that are happening in Europe, and I think having a scale for Europe is a core need. So let's start discussing in our podcast about that.
Yeah, for sure. The security is part of the foundation of QTSP, or Qualified Trust Service Provider. But having said that, what we see in the market is that trust is more and more, let's say, parts of a new digitalization around transaction. So which is really important is trust now is part of the foundation of DNA. And on top of the trust, we are talking about security. So that's really important for our clients, because we are responsible to provide the best security on top of the transaction for our clients.
And we are in a phase where security is not a secondary topic; it's a core topic that we should address. And we also have challenges that are happening basically every day on that topic. So we will see in the next few years also the topic of post-quantum specifically. But the core issue is the harvest now, decrypt later. So the people that are taking the information now and decrypt later. So let's talk about that and how we are facing this problem.
You're right, Matteo. As I said, the security, we need to be in state of the art of the security, and the trend now is around post-quantum. So in the next few years, a company as us, we need to provide the best post-quantum security for our client. What does it mean? It means that in order to reach the best level of security, in order to be responsible on behalf of our client for the security, we need to push the latest technology. And the post-quantum is something very important for us because it's part of the future, but it's also very important for us because it will be a big investment for a company as us. And thanks to our size, thanks to our position in the market, we are, keen to invest in this technology in order to support our client.
It is also a timing issue because now, we should invest now. Probably the real impact will be in the next few years, but the plan that we need to have and our clients need to have, it's starting right now. So we should plan the crypto GDT, the team make a plan of the assets that you have to make under the new security environment, to be ready to adopt the new algorithm and new technologies that
You're totally right. I mean, for us, it's something that we are talking about tomorrow. Even if we think that the production, let's say ETA will be in 2030, but we need to start right now. So what does it mean? Investments, new technology, new products in order to start as soon as possible to test, because it's not something that it will be, let's say, totally transparent for the clients. So we need to test, we need to invest time, we need to, let's say, to be sure that all our products will be compliant with this new technology.
Yes. And that is also why also at Namirial we invest a lot of this of our R&D on this topic. We also recently launched an initiative where we demonstrate how feasible is to basically crack the system and the algorithm. So we are really testing with real use cases this kind of technology and try to implement this one on our services. The other part of the coin of the security, or one of the other part of the angle, is the fraud. So the post quantum is a challenge almost for data at rest and for the core topic now that is the harvest now and decrypt later. In terms of security and frauds prevention, we still have a lot of challenges that we are trying to face, and we are helping our clients also to try to face.
Yeah, definitively. I mean, as you say, Matteo, I mean, on top of of our capability to provide, let's say, security to our clients, we also need to be able also to provide a lot of tools around fraud, anti-fraud, risk management as well. So what does it mean? It means that thanks to the technology, thanks to our investments, we are more and more able to provide new things about fraud for identity, for example, but also for documents. So our capability to provide solution to help the client to identify a fraud, to check a fraud, to see a trend in terms of fraud, because I mean, the reality of the market now is more and more the fraud. We can see a trend, we can see some patterns about fraud. And yeah, it's definitely very important. Thanks to AI, thanks to our R&D team, we are trying to improve every day because the pattern change as well. And it's part of our, let's say, added value to provide more things to our clients.
Yes, and the other point is that normally is not just one time that you have a possible fraud that you need to have countermeasures, but it's kind of a continuous process.
Yeah, definitively, especially on the KYC and KYB processes. I mean, we used to have let's say, a one-stop verification to onboard a new client, to onboard the new digital clients. But then now more and more, our clients, banks, insurance, different other corporates, they are looking to update, not in real time, but update periodically let's say, the profile of the client, even if we are talking about company or a physical person. And this is why we can provide added value on this specific topic. Why? Because our capability to collect the data automatically, our capability to, let's say, to check every document automatically, it's part of our value prop in that way. So yeah, it's definitely something very important for us.
And also mixing different sources. So we need to try to combat the frauds every day. Is a perpetual KYC that we mentioned it. So we really have to face it every day. And we also are collecting more information about our users and our clients that can be used also to train the algorithm and to identify patterns, as you said, in order to identify possible frauds according to the data that we can collect.
For sure, the size and our capability to manage millions of documents every day, the capability to train our algorithm, to train thanks to AI, it's part of our added value, and this is why we can provide the best quality of service to our clients.
And it's certainly connected also to another topic, that is the wallet. That obviously is, we already spent some words on this one with the previous episodes of Trusted Voices. but for sure the wallet is a core topic. It's built with the idea of having a very strong security layer and a very strong privacy constraints and privacy preserving technologies. It's the future for Europe and also for the KYC process.
Yeah,
probably the KYC and perpetual KYC will be something different also in the long run.
Definitely, the wallet will be a game changer for this kind of process, KYC, KYB. Why? Because our capability to manage a profile for a physical person or for a company, to update it in real time, to collect the data, to collect the information on behalf of the clients, will be a game changer for our clients. For all our clients who will be in charge to onboard digitally clients, for our client who will be able also to update a profile and to do more business with the client as well. So the e-wallet will be part of the new, let's say, new ecosystem for the KYC and KYB purposes.
I know we talk a lot about security with different angles, but everything is happening also because of the change in regulation. So a lot of things that are happening in Europe are a mix of innovation and innovation driven by the regulation. And also on this topic, the scale matters a lot because the regulation requirements and the barriers are still very high. On one side, on the other side, there is kind of a wave of new regulation that is happening. The European digital identity is something that will be like the backbone of a lot of different regulations, and the security layers that are adding on top are very common to different topics. So we mentioned the IDAS, we mentioned the wallet with the business wallet. We have also a lot of different regulations where the scale matters and the security is very impacted.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have to remind that the regulation is there to protect the client. Okay, and as a provider, as I said, we need to invest. We need to be compliant with the latest regulation, European regulation. You were talking about IDAS with the new framework called IDAS 2.0. We can talk also about NIS2 in order to protect our client about cyber security. We can talk also about DORA for the financial institutions, both banks and insurance. And it's true to say that thanks to our size, thanks to our capability to follow the client, we can invest because we are talking about a lot of investments. We are talking a lot of internal processes to manage this kind of regulation on behalf of the client. Also, we need to spend time with our clients to explain why we are here, why we are compliant. But I would say it's part of our value prop as well. And it's really important for the client because, as I said, the regulations are here to protect the client and we are here to provide the best quality of service to our brand.
And the topic that it's currently under discussion in Europe that is very connected to the security and these issues is the sovereignty. The European sovereignty is a very core topic. We are coming also from you're getting the organization in France where this topic is very well known also in other countries. We need to balance the European sovereignty with the innovation and with investment that we need to innovate, and we don't need to basically isolate Europe in some way just to protect just European with full sovereignty. So let's discuss a little bit about that and how you see the matter of sovereignty.
Sure. I mean, for us, European sovereignty is a key and is part of our global strategy. Why? So simple, because as a European player, we provide service to European clients, and we are all very sensitive about data protection, for sure, about the capability to provide and to have people working in Europe, the capability to provide a service, let's say, powered by European data centers. And this is part of our total DNA. So what does it mean? Each time we discuss with the European clients, they are looking for data sovereignty, they are looking for GDPR, And so each time we start a discussion with our client, we have to explain them why we are the right partners, why we are totally and fully compliant with Europe in terms of data, in terms of R&D, in terms of, as I said, GDPR. And I would say that for us it's quite natural today because, it's part of our value prop, and it's also very important for our clients because it's something very, let's say, differentiates versus the US player and Asian player.
Yeah, definitely. So we cover different topics. So the security with different angles, the sovereignty, the challenges that we are facing directly and through our client and our partners with the possible frauds. And we really demonstrate also with the example of today how important it is to have a scale and how it's important to still innovate in this continuously evolving market with different regulations that are happening and the challenges that we are facing thanks to the technology. So let's have a final discussion about how you see this market on the next 5 years and the main challenges that you are facing, how they will impact us on the market and the main priorities for our clients.
Yeah, what we can see, the market is definitively will be and is a big market right now. So what does it mean? It means that the foundation around trust is more and more important for our clients. Not only to follow the regulation, not only to secure, the onboarding process for our clients, but also to make more business. Because now we are not talking anymore about regulation, about protection. We are talking about how our clients will improve their business, how they will improve their capability to onboard the clients digitally, and how they will be able to secure the full process on behalf of the client. This is the key value prop of our solution today. And for our clients is very important because our clients are looking for more security. They also want to onboard as fast as possible the clients. We all know that if we spend 5 minutes to do some cases or to do some explanation on the websites, we will maybe we'll switch to another provider. So really important for our clients, how to secure a digital onboarding, how to, have an internal process as fast as possible, and how to, to choose the right provider. Yeah. As you said, Matteo, size is the key in our business. Our capability to have more than 300 engineers to work on the new products, our capability to support our clients across Europe, Italy, France, Spain, Germany, it's something very important for us. And we think that our position in the market, our capability to support our client everywhere is it's a real added value for us.
Yes, it's an added value for us. It's a competitive advantage at the end for the clients to have someone who can help them to serve more markets in Europe especially. So it's not just appealing at the national level, but also at the European level. According to what is happening, Europe is very important. It can be really a competitive advantage for us, for our client. Yeah. So thank you so much for this episode and to stay with us today, Pierre. It was a pleasure to touch with you all these different topics: security, digital identity, different regulation, why scale matters in this world. So thank you so much
Thank you so much. Very my pleasure, and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks.